All I have is we
feel
talk
that
via
right
Rocky Talkie, and everyone hates when I say that.
No, it's a thing now. It's totally a thing now. Also, hi TPK.
Hi, TPK.
No!
Hi.
Why do you do this to us?
Because it's funny and it gets us in on a good mood. Look at all those smiles.
Yeah.
Anywho, hi TPK. Welcome back to
hi.
Queen's Gambit.
Oh,
This
hi,
is
Mark.
a mostly Tyranny of Dragons, but a whole lot of homebrew stuff riddled in. D&D 5th edition. Doing it live campaign. I'm that Magic Juice. I am your GM and shepherd for the night. And I will let the Clouder introduce themselves. Heck, let's start with you, please.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Sir Heckalot. You know, as per usual, I'm playing Aster, the Shifter Circle Wildfire Druid. Moving on over to Niffer.
It's me. I'm Niffer. I can't find a pencil to take notes, so this is going to be a hot mess of a session. I am playing Eliseo the Time Wizard, who's an Osmar. Next.
Hiya, I'm Hyacinth. I'm playing Icarus. He's an elf of some kind and a class of some kind. So it gets more obscure every day. So here we are, just trucking through.
And then there's me. I am Juno, the Pallid Elf, Twilight Domain Cleric. Over to you, Chrissy.
Okay, I was just waiting for the end there.
Yep, sorry.
I'm Chrissy Kritz. I'll be playing Ulta, our Swarmkeeper Ranger. Magic, back to you, sir.
Why, thank you. Back in the studio. No, I'm kidding. There's my first terrible attempt at humor for the day. So, last time, we finished the two-part massive clash at Skyreach Castle. This is a castle that the Cloud Giant Blagothkus helms, and after allying with him and his two friends, Wolfgar and Hulda, we take on the pieces of the Cult of the Dragon that are using this place, along with a very loose deal with Blagothkus, to transport large amounts of plunder and treasure to wherever it was going. We took out... No, we did not take out any red wizards. One red wizard is under our captivity at the moment, under non-voluntary sleep. The other, along with Resmir, the black half-dragon, and a very unique dragon mask, had jumped off at one point mid-flight of the castle. There were vampires involved. There was, oh yeah, by the way, a massive white dragon that the two red wizards decided to successfully change into a Dracolich mid-battle. The giants had been very much looking for clash against dragons in order to, as Blagothkus puts it, reunite the giants, reignite their fervor, and bring them together again. From what, we're not really sure yet, but at least that's where that stands. Anywho, after this big fight, we end up being invited to explore the castle a bit, which is, aside from the large areas we've seen, mostly a massive vault that we did go through a bit. I hope you guys wrote down the stuff that you got, because there was a lot to sift through. And we ended the session last time with Juno and Ulta, holding guard in this room over Asbara. Juno decides to try to scry on Rath Modar, one of the two red wizards that we had just finished fighting. And we ended with the scene of you, Juno, seeing Rath and Resmir knocking on a wooden door in a deep stone cavern, and revealing, I actually am just realizing I should pull the image up again so we can start here. It is another familiar, actually, Shadow Warrior. And I will start out by saying, Juno, this person is familiar to you because... Sorry, I'm going to stop talking for a second and do this because apparently I can't multitask. This person is familiar to you. He was at the forefront of the memory you were able to see of Marlock when the ritual was being performed to separate and steal her power. Any questions before we start there? Or anything you want to add to the recap?
I'm chewing, but I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I just didn't want us to move on yet.
While she's finishing chewing, I will vamp for time and say I found a pencil, but I don't think it's gonna help. That's all.
Why will the pencil not help?
Because this is gonna be chaos. Okay, go, Chrissy.
Did we take everything out of this man's pockets? Juno?
I do
So
believe we
we-
requested to loot his body.
You did take his
but
staff.
that was before we even brought him back over here.
And did we like...
That was first death. First.
Yeah, for the first time.
Yeah.
Did we make it so that he can't do any of the
Yes,
physical
he is bound
or
and
verbal-
gagged.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. If not, I was going to make sure we do that first so that when he finally wakes up from the sleep, he wasn't like, I look as I am,
Asleep.
and fucking...
Remember, there was a really weird joke about I'm really good with knots, and then I tied him up, and then you guys
Yeah.
ignored it, and then we tied him up. I think.
So yes, bound and gagged, asleep by force right now, and you did take his
Blunt
staff and
force,
his spell,
you may even
spell
say.
book. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, Juno. Before continuing with what you see and experience here, this is scrying is a 10-minute spell, correct? Concentration.
Yes.
So that's going to be about the first just like 20 to 30 seconds or so. The rest of you were on your way back here, and we can see you on the screen now. What would you be wanting to do at this point? You do not know that Juno is scrying. I'm sorry, I asked a question and then kept talking. You do not know what's going on in that room just now. You do know that Juno and Ulta are taking watch, and that the giants are out here taking a sort of like outer watch to make sure Aswara can't do anything. You just got done exploring and looting the vault, and you're on your way back in. What would you like to be doing right now?
I'm gonna imagine I'm just fiddling with my new toys that I picked up, and like, does the longbow look any different, or is it just a normal wooden bow that feels slightly magical, or it's a +1 longbow I picked up. So
The one that you found in the vault?
yes,
It doesn't look any different.
I'm like, a little boring, but still feels okay. I'm just like glancing over my items. I'm like, wonder what this does, because I've got bracers. I don't know what they do yet, so I'm just gonna like turn things over in my hand and be very not attentive.
Okay. Anything else for Eliseo or Aster?
I'm talking to Glom.
Yeah.
I like Glom. She's pretty cool.
Aster,
Yeah.
I don't want to single you out, but I don't want to leave you out. Is there anything in
Oh, no
particular?
problem. Yeah, I was just waiting until everyone was done talking.
Oh,
Yeah, probably just heading back over to the room, and I don't know, probably making sure Seymour's doing okay after the battle.
Okay. Seymour looks a little bit on edge. What's your passive insight? Or would you like to make an insight check?
I'll go ahead and make an insight check. That's okay.
Okay.
16.
Okay. He seems excited. You know, the kind of mix of like nervous but hyped at the same time.
Yeah.
You're getting that kind of vibe from him, that he's got like his arm branches sort of like at the side. He's gripping onto the tip of the staff that he can while he's plopped in there. And you can see like what would be his head just like constantly on a swivel going around, like he's ready to pounce at something, but it's like overall a positive vibe that you're getting from him.
I'd imagine it's because we're not on the ground. This is a very new experience for both of us. If like nearby to where we are, there's like any like window like looking out, I'll make sure like he has a good view of like outside. Other than that,
your options, at least that you've seen, would be that lower room that you saw beyond the vault when you were exploring and saw that big outflow, or if you were to go to the gate on this level that's to the far west of the room.
Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind after checking back in with the homies.
Okay. And then finally, Ulta, is there anything in particular you would like to be doing while making sure Juno's okay while scrying?
Ulta will saddle up next to Juno wherever they're sitting, and now that Juno is like probably either sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor or doing something to stabilize themselves, Ulta would probably start to get a little bit bored. And she's just going to start braiding Juno's hair.
Awesome.
Team braids.
All right, Juno. You see Wrath, Resmir, and this guy, Tiny Dragon included, go into this room that he opened, and take a few seats. It's a little bit of a contrast from the atmosphere of the hallway that you just came out of, which was basically like generic stone cave, and into a room that seems more like the quarters that you had seen in the castle in the forest, with a little bit of like intentional and decorative furniture, like seats, upholstered seats, a desk or two, a rug with a fireplace. Like, this is intended to be a comfortable place for people to meet. And all three of them sit. You'll see Resmir take off the mask and sort of tuck it in her lap. And all of them have a very serious demeanor and go on to discuss, I'll give you the short version, what had just happened again with you at Skyreach Castle. Resmir and Wrath divulge details like involving your capabilities, this certain spell casting capabilities that the lot of you have. One of you is a shapeshifter. What else? And you defeated the vampires with relative ease, so the forefront of their defense was weak. And then finally, we'll skip the fast forwarding part of that and go into more of a line by line here and say this new person says, "And what of the white mask?" Resmir will chime in and say, "It was not contained in any of the hall this time." That's going to cover about 5 minutes, half of your scrying time. Is there anything in detail about that so far that you would like to explore?
Can you repeat that last little bit? Not contained in any of the halls?
Of the hall this time.
Okay. I would like to say that, like, Juno is sitting here, like, kind of, like, mumbling this out loud, so that way someone else can also hear it. So just for Ulta, like, just repeating to the best that she can while also focusing on the conversation. So it might not always be coherent thoughts or sentences. Just doing my best.
I will let you flavor that however you choose. So if that's how you'd like to flavor that, that's great. Because there are no limitations on scrying as far as like what you can do simultaneously, other than it is a concentration spell. So that checks out. Attention diverted.
I want someone to look at me like how Corndog just looked at that food.
I love food.
Anything else from that bit before moving on?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna set this down though until you're done explaining things, because I
Okay.
will go to another place when I start to eat this.
Well, you can start to eat. How about this? That's actually.
No, I mean mentally, I'm going to another place.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so let's just get all the way through it then.
I'm so hungry.
Let's just get all the way through it then. They will just exchange general conversation about you guys, so you can hear them. They give full descriptions of all 5 of you, and they're pretty accurate depictions, including at least the ape and the hawk form that Aster was able to take. So like what you all look like, your physical and magical capabilities, at least that they observed, and that you appear to have allied with the giants of Skyreach Castle. Back to regular time, because I'm kind of fast forwarding through some conversation there because it's filler for the most part. But back to real time, Severin will say, "It appears the time has come. We sound the horn today." And Resmir and Wrath will sort of look at each other with this not concerned look, but an affirmation. Clearly they know what this means, and there's an aura of like mental preparation for both of them happening. Is there any amount of detail you would like to get from that remaining bit before your spell times out?
Am I able to glance around the room at all to try to get a better understanding of like where they are?
Make a perception check.
Now we find out if we use D&D Beyond for the night. 23.
Damn.
Okay.
Are you going to use your -2 or save it?
21.
Okay. It's going to be pretty much more solid confirmation of what I said before. This looks like a completely enclosed space. You would at least, in addition to what I described before, notice that the walls and ceiling of this place are also like solid stone, just like the cave / tunnel on the outside of this room. So it seems like they are in hiding of some sort.
But it doesn't feel like the last castle we were in. Like it's not, I don't see anything that's like, this is the exact same as the last place we were.
No, it would actually more resemble the quarters of, oh boy. The person who was with Langdadrosa, here it is, Frulimandath. It would more resemble her quarters, like that environment of being in a cave.
Is she anywhere around?
Nope.
No.
It is just it's just these 3.
That bitch has my friend Shadow. Where is she? Okay. Then yeah, I guess I just like try to figure out, since I can't figure out where they are precisely, try to figure out what sound the horn means, because didn't we also have a horn in this previously? Was that this campaign? Maybe not.
Nope.
I could be mixing campaigns.
I was like, wait, yes. I'm like, that was Oathsworn. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think mine was. I don't know what mine was. Maybe it was Harper's? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
There was a horn in the other campaign I run too. I don't know if you caught that episode, but yeah.
Maybe.
So
Maybe
in
your
the-
voice is just like in my brain. And I'm just like recalling the
So,
horn.
yeah, so for this campaign, no references to horns. I don't think should ring any bells.
Okay. I will take note of that. And then if we get to talk to an adult, ask, yo, you know where some horns are?
Okay.
It's probably not going to go over well, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay. So Corndog, feel free to dig in. We're gonna rewind about 9 minutes for everyone else in game. What would you all like to be doing during this time?
Gonna check in with the homies, probably. I mean, the plan kind of was like, you know, 2 people stay and guard Isbara, and then the rest go and check out the loot. And that objective has been completed, so just gonna go back.
Okay. Asbara is awake now, by the way.
Mhm.
Even if Asbara wakes up, I am going to just stare at him while also. Oh no.
No.
There is. I think you're back. Stare at him while also.
Continuing to braid Juno's hair.
Okay.
Prolonged eye contact while braiding hair.
Yeah,
I love that.
uncomfortably-
That's so good.
Uncomfortably hard eye contact while just braiding Juno's hair.
Awesome.
Master walks in and seeing this, like, I don't even think she really questions it. She's just like, yeah, this tracks. Oh, Juno must be scrying. Is everything all right?
I think just keeping tabs on this idiot's friends.
Fair enough.
And she's going to hold a locket of hair that is partially braided and go like this. At Asbara. Just hard eye contact. How about you guys? Did you find anything good down there?
Quite a bit. I mean, Eliseo and Icarus, I think, found more things along items, but there was quite a bit of gold and platinum down there, and I found all of these sapphires. That was mostly it for me, at least.
You can.
I
Found
got
a
these,
sword.
and I hold up the 2 giant diamonds.
Can you use a
That
sword?
too.
I have a sword.
I forget we figured it out in chat. Heck, you were one that wanted one of the diamonds.
Yes, that would
Cool.
be
Oh.
fantastic. Yes, thank you.
Do you want one, Chrissy?
A diamond?
Yeah.
I haven't. Like, Ulta, if you ask Ulta, she's going to be like, probably not. Like, she doesn't really have a. They're
mean,
pretty,
look-
though.
Yeah, it's shiny to look through. That's why I'm offering. Like,
And for reference, the big one's about as big as Ulta's head.
Yeah. Oh.
I really want to just see you hold it now. Just
And she'll just take it and hold it, and you'll
Yeah.
just see like the
complete
fractals
distortion.
of like Ulta's face.
I have
Okay.
a
that was nice. Now
I
I'll
have-
take it back and I'll put it away.
question, but it may be insensitive. The only one of us who can use a sword is Ulta, but I think I only have a long sword. So would that be beneficial to you? Can you use those?
I can use a sword.
I'm proficient with martial weapons.
Okay,
So
because I have a long sword that I have a +1 long sword, but I know you only use short swords normally. So
To be fair, I only picked 2 short swords to kind of go with the fact that she was small. But it was an option to take a long sword, to be fair. So
okay. I was just slide you over a +1 longsword.
All
Just like casually, like take the sword. As you're braiding hair, like cut it all off. Wait, she can still hear us. Fuck.
Don't you dare.
I mean, shit.
I flick you in the ear for that.
I fall over.
Okay, so
Sounds about right.
So, anything else then during this almost 10 minutes of before Juno's spell finishes? All right, then Juno's what I will call warg state finishes. Juno, you have been attempting to sort of mumble the things that you hear as you hear them. So the generalities of the conversation, I'll say that Aster, you were able to catch. Is there anything else that you would like to share or discuss, Juno?
Basically everything. So I'll let them know what they know about us. They now have more details than what was in Sabaro's notebook. Trying not to look at my gleek stain on my shirt. Okay. And then the chance that the white mask might not have even been here to begin with. So we should probably figure out what that is. And they're going to sound a horn. I don't really
A
know.
literal one or a metaphorical one?
It was kind of hard to tell.
Everyone make a history check, please.
Oh yeah, I'm so smart.
Yep, cool. 8.
Nice. Look at the elves coming out.
Yeah.
I've got a 6, 8, 16, 19. Eliseo?
Oh, that's way better than I ever
24.
expected.
24. Juno and Icarus, you growing up in your Elven Grove would have heard multiple stories, history lessons about generally wars past where horns had been used as signals. That's about all you'd be able to get. But Eliseo,
Nerd.
sorry, Juno as well. Did I say Icarus and Juno?
Mm-hmm.
Aster, no, not Aster, sorry. Eliseo, having been around for some of the deeper elven stories and history lessons and discussions by way of being with Juno, you're recalling a little bit more detail. And connecting maybe a couple of dots that others might not be. That the cult of the dragon is referencing a horn to be sounded, and that at least one such horn would have been used in the clash of giants and dragons centuries ago.
So, I know that
I
people
share
blow
that.
into horns during battle and stuff, but like how it seems very impractical to always just have like a minotaur like right next to you, just so you can blow into it.
No.
Like-
No.
How does that make any sound?
No.
Not like blowing into the
No.
minotaur, but blowing into the horn of the minotaur, right?
No.
Don't you play musical instruments?
You literally are a bard.
I don't
Yeah.
play a horn. That would be
But
so
you took
inhumane.
music classes growing up.
That would be inhumane.
Like a trumpet.
Like a satyr?
I just do
No.
the thing where you make the little trumpet with your hand and just blow through it.
I mean, they're made out of horns, though. Like, where do you get them from? That still feels inhumane.
They're made out of
Regular
metals.
goats.
They make out of
And
metal.
brass instruments.
Yeah.
Do brass
Mhm.
instruments exist?
Yes.
Yes, the dwarves are very proud of them.
Okay, well, we're not dwarves, so like maybe I just don't have as much experience with them. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of them. Okay, I've practiced with other things, like
We
string
own
instruments.
some.
Yeah,
What are
like-
you talking about?
You own horns?
The elves at home do. In
Maybe
the
it's like-
music classes. Did you even pay attention when we were in school?
Okay, well, maybe we're going to music class.
Of
Maybe we're
course
just as
not.
good. Okay, anyways, moving on. It's not important. We'll skim over that. Skim over.
So giants versus dragons equals horn, right? Is what my little history check gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. I share that little bit of history then with the group.
They were concerned about us being allied with the giants of Skyreach Castle.
And it wouldn't really bode well considering we'd, seen a Dracolich here and a clash between giants and dragons right here very recently. If you're saying it's, about a century ago, maybe more, doesn't bode well. We're headed to the Giant Haven, right? We could maybe talk with them a little bit more about this.
We could stick our heads out and ask that one guy.
Well, Gothkus.
Goth kid. Hey, Goth kid.
Blagothkus, hello.
My
We have some
hopefully
questions.
BFF.
He is outside the door.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. I forgot about the voice. Hey, so what do you know about horns and their significance in fighting against dragons with you?
Dragon horn? Again?
What do you mean again? Tell us about the last time. What happened last time? About 100 years ago?
Tiny people with dragon use horn to signal war.
What tiny people? The red people?
Red people too new.
Oh, okay. Who was it last time?
Other magic folk.
Okay. Purple? Did they have a main color?
No purple.
No purple? Okay.
So, like, if someone blows a horn today, what's that mean for you guys? Like, oh man, here we go, it's war again. Or is it like, oh man, we should prepare?
He would have had like a sort of inquisitive look during your first questions, but now he'd get a lot more serious. Ruffled brow and it's sort of a frown on his face.
Horn would mean more dragons now. War soon.
Oh, that's not ideal.
Was it like a certain horn? Is there a particular dragon bringing horn that we should maybe try to find?
I do not know one horn, but maybe other giants know.
At the Haven, yes? Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, that'd be great if you could introduce us to other giants that might know. Thanks.
Ha! Tiny people fought dragon with giants. Of course I introduce.
Thank you. I do my best to be very tall, and as I'm 6'7", I hope that helps. I am a giant, tiny person. I hope that he likes me. I want to be his best friend, please. Can I roll best friend check, please?
Sure. Roll a... Short-circuiting.
I don't have that skill.
Let's say a persuasion check.
Okay. 22. I rolled an 18, and I am high charisma.
All right. Blagothkus is actually going to do this fist to the chest that he has done before, but then in addition this time extend the fist out toward you.
I fist bumped a giant.
Nice.
I fist bumped a giant, y'all.
And he'll give a sort of smirk and a and go back to he's been just sort of meandering about out here.
Cool.
What else? What do we think?
Alta's going to like turn to the group and go, should we have told him specifically that they are actually going to blow the horn today?
I think that's fair enough. I mean, they looked serious about it, right, Juno?
Maybe?
I think it was a fair call.
I'm gonna look over at Asbara, who's nice and bound and gagged, and just be like, where the fuck is the horn? I know he can't respond, but I want to see him squirm for a moment.
He'll like sort of shift a little bit and give you a little glare, and then just sort of like try to shuffle himself so that he's kind of looking away from you.
I am going to cast Zone of Truth because I have second level spell slots left. Oop, accidentally marked off a third. I'm gonna get nice and close. And I'm going to have, let's see, what do I have in my inventory? No, that's too weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hold my hand axe, but hold it in a way that I could club him with it, not in the way that would out-cheat him with it.
Again.
I don't want to kill again because it's very expensive to revive.
Okay.
I would like to ask him, barely pulling the stuff down inside of our happy little zone of truth right here, and just be like, where is the horn? And I'm trying to use this thing to intimidate him.
Mm-hmm. Make an intimidation check at advantage, because you got your whole crew in here backing you up.
Do it again.
Ooh.
Natural 20, baby! Am I that charismatic? No. But natural 20, I did it. Clicking my heels together inside my brain.
Dracorn is at Well of Dragon.
Where is the well?
Lucky for this one, he does not know.
Does this one know where the Well of Dragons is?
Is that...
Sorry?
Eliseo?
Does Eliseo
Does Eliseo know?
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow, you can't use magic
infected
phone.
me. Speech patterns here. Does Eliseo know where the Well of Dragon is? Did I ever get taken there?
I'm gonna say no, you were not high enough in the ranks, but you would know that despite kind of going through the ranks and eventually getting out, despite eventually getting out, having gone through the ranks a little bit.
I was 11.
Right, but you know very well, children have memories like sponges. So
Yes.
you would remember many a discussion about a fabled well of dragons where the queen will eventually rise again.
Okay.
And you'll actually have a memory flash for a moment, a more recent memory, to a certain cave in the dragon hatchery that had a chiseled mural depiction of a mountain.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Dots connecting for Eliseo. And though you had never really known where it was and maybe have even questioned if it existed or if it was more of a bolstering story, it's becoming more real now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Deal. I'll bring this up after more questions.
Well, does anyone else have any more questions for him? And I say as I like tighten the gag in his mouth. You can ask them now.
I
Okay,
don't think so.
I'm just gonna sit down right next to him and just hang out. Just vibe a little. Watch his hands for what is it? Is that somatic components?
Mhm.
Yeah. So just make sure no pinkies are twitching. Or if I see any of that, I'm just gonna gently hold his hand.
Oh, I thought you were gonna cut the pinky off.
No. I am only so dark. I only double murder people. I'm not torturer. I have a different vibe.
Yeah, you're watching this one thing closely enough. I won't make you roll for it. Other than the occasional like adjusting for comfort, like lying on his side awkwardly like this, his hands aren't really doing anything.
Okay. Just gonna hang out here with him.
Ulta will climb up next to you and take an inkwell out of her backpack with a pen and start like drawing a unibrow and like drawing a dick on his forehead, just like dumb stuff like that.
Yes.
It's a nice addition to his head cap that's covering all the tattoos that already cover his entire bare skin other than his face.
Hang on. And I'm gonna like switch the ink so that it's a more permanent ink for her to.
Oh my god.
There you go.
New tattoo. Who
There you
dis?
go.
Yep.
Chaos. I love it.
I am nothing but an enabler, okay? I am a support class in all areas of life.
You know, it's bad that Icarus is like sitting in the corner shaking his head, like, oh my god. I think they've gone too far, right, sister?
I mean, I killed him twice, so.
Yeah, but who draws dicks on people's faces?
You have a dick on your face right now?
And I realize they're drawing a mustache, not a dick, and I go and draw a dick on his face.
No. Here's the thing. You cannot tell that I'm lying because I have a ring that prevents people from knowing. I have the ring of mind shielding. So when I say you have a dick on your face right now, you believe me.
That's not me thinking you're lying. That's me not believing you.
But I'm telling you that you have a dick on your face. And that
I feel
someone
like those
put a
are-
dick on your face.
I feel like without a reasonable time when there would be a dick drawn on my face, I would.
I'm instilling doubt right now, that's all.
Just
You may
question
choose
it a
not to
little
believe
bit.
me, but now you're thinking about it.
My face is Icarus's face as he contemplates just.
I
And
just
just as
want
a-
you to question yourself right now.
As a quick clarification, just to make sure, sorry to be that guy, but
Mhm.
the ring does not prevent any regular insight checking. It only prevents magical means of knowing the truth.
Cool.
Anywho, Anything else that you would like to be doing or talking about at this point, everybody?
I mean, is the knowledge of the Well of Dragons shared amongst the?
I don't want to share it around Sparrow. Is my
Okay.
only thing.
Yeah, no problem. I was just asking because Aster would probably have questions. But yeah, no, another
At
time.
some point after the tattoo thing, I'll probably pass a note to Juno to be like, let's talk away from Sparrow. I think I know something about Well of Dragon. Was it Well of Dragon or Well of Dragons?
Dragons, plural.
Plural. Okay, fix
Way
this.
more comforting.
No. Way less comforting.
Yes, that was the point.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I suppose we
Also-
could ask Blagothkus if he wanted to watch Sabaro. But the giant can't exactly fit inside our pizza shack. Thank you, Hen.
That was very good.
Ulta will kind of like glance over and I'll stay. I'm okay with just being filled in later. Probably
Hold,
don't have
please.
much to add.
Got
Okay.
a third level spell. Wait, where is it? There we go. Tiny hut.
Because I think you have to stay in it, Juno. for it
Yeah,
to
I feel
stay
like
around.
we already put the tiny hut up, didn't we? Didn't we do that last time?
Oh yeah. So I'm not
We did.
leaving
And
this
you
room
like
because
crawled
we are
out of,
yeah,
like
to-
barely.
So I cannot leave this space, but
Okay, I'll fill everyone else in outside, and then I'll write you a
spells
note.
and other magical effects can't cast it.
Oh, if only anyone else signed in Druidic. That would have made this so easy.
Yeah, that's true. What language do we all know that Sparrow doesn't know? Can we do
Mm.
that?
We don't know what languages he knows, and he's very smart.
And I don't know any
I'm
languages.
guessing he knows Draconic. And I'm guessing he knows Common.
I'm
That's the
guessing
thing,
a deep speech.
I know Elvish.
I
don't.
also know Elvish.
I don't.
Hey, anyone speak Primordial?
I speak
speak
Celestial.
Orc. Speak Orc.
Yeah,
Does
I
anyone-
don't think it's gonna work.
So
No.
the idea here is to try to converse in front of him without him understanding.
No. We
I'm
briefly
just gonna-
thought of it and decided
Okay.
no.
I'm gonna give up and not
Exactly.
understand as well.
I will just brief everyone out in the hall,
Mhm.
and then I will write a note to my wife explaining everything, and she can read it to herself.
Okay.
That's gonna be the fastest way to convey this information. Out in hall, hey y'all, when Sparrow said Well of Dragons, I think I remember hearing about that, and that's definitely where they're gonna summon Tiamat from. And also, there was a mural on the wall of the dragon hatchery where we found those 3 dragon eggs that Merlot adopted or something. Right? She ended up with the dragon eggs that were hatching?
Mhm.
Marlock, yes.
That's what I said.
Yeah, totally.
Question. Based on that, so that makes sense in theory. But Well of Dragons, do we actually know where that is? Or do we just know what it's called?
It's kind of a legendary thing.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying
could-
like the information only helps us if we know where it is.
I can make an attempt at narrowing down our options.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, we saw that one cave painting, carving thing. Was there anything distinct about that? Maybe we could.
Remind me what episode that happened in, and I will
Ooh.
go check. It was
That is
very,
far back in my
Episode
notes.
3 or
very.
4?
That's
Yeah,
what I
like,
was thinking.
It
was
is far
episode
back in my
3.
notes. But also, if we
It
could
was in a whole
maybe
other
consult,
journal.
yeah, maybe if we could consult our map or something, see if there's any like, I don't know, underground bodies of water or water nearby mountain ranges, something like that.
I don't
Well,
necessarily
don't we remember
know that.
based on the map that Frulum was from, like the map that was on the wall? Wasn't there kind of a route and an end goal? So we would know approximately where it is from the end goal? If we're assuming that the end goal is the Well of Souls, because that's Well of Dragons, because that's where they're summoning.
Icarus,
I thought that-
I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say you can't ask that question, of course, but you will remember sort of as you're talking it out loud, that the route on the map you had seen only went as far as. Would you like me to just shift you guys to the big map?
That would be fantastic.
I can
Love
do
the
that.
big map.
It still has the arrows on it, but it ended like even before
Oh.
Waterdeep.
Yeah.
It was like at that weird.
So it was a very unfinished map. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Session
was like
6.
yeah. There was like nothing there. We were like,
What
why
What is
does it in
Gandalf
there?
doing up there? I saw that.
Wait, Gandalf's here?
It might have been me.
Gandalf
Oh.
is up there partying in the Grey Peak Mountains.
I like a Gandalf.
Let's just go there.
Maybe,
Don't
maybe
worry
it
about
wasn't.
that.
Oh, look it. Hi, Gandalf. Anyways, episode 6, session 6, sorry for anyone looking at the notes about the cave drawing. I have that there are double black dragons represented in the carving. And also Tiamat.
Yes.
So, like, we hacked.
Yes.
And not in a
Do we
nice,
think
our
they're
friends
black
are.
dragons, or do we think that they're Dracoliches?
It says double black dragons.
I would think it would be Black Dragon because I don't think the Dragon Cult knew there was going to be a Dracolich.
Yeah, the
I think that was
just
Dracolich
the
are
Red
Wizards.
Just the.
But the Red Wizards aren't necessarily the Dragon Cult.
They are not.
So
So-
the Red Wizards made the Dracolich, not the Dragon Cult per se. It might not have been their plan necessarily.
Quick interjection again, because I know this has been at least mentioned. Early info from the factions involved reports that the cult had been allying with Red Wizards, and the Red Wizards of Thay have a history of wanting to raise undead dragons.
I'm just saying that the Black Dragons were probably Black Dragons, and the Skull Dragons were probably Skull Dragons. But the Skull Dragons weren't there, so maybe they edited plans on the way. Because back then, we didn't know anything about the Red Wizards, so who knew that they knew they were with the Red Wizards? That was just things
Maybe
are
they
adding
kept it
up and they're getting
secret.
stronger anyways, but their plan did not include them.
What?
I could have said
Oh,
that in
the
less
nine?
words.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm of the mindset that we question it all, that the Red Wizards, like, just because they're new-ish now, like,
Yeah.
they still have this power that we don't understand.
Basically, I'm saying the Red Wizards were here, but I don't think they were part of the original plan that was on that map. Because that map was like
But
outdated.
were
didn't
they
have
a
everything.
part of the
Wait.
original prophecy?
What do you mean map? Do you mean the carving on the hatchery
carving.
wall that we found?
I'm saying
I
the
don't-
carving was like unfinished. I don't think they're part of it.
I don't think that was like. I think that was like an old carving, right? Like, told the story of the last time. And Goth Kid just told us that the Red Wizards weren't part of it last time.
And just from what, as far as has said, you know, he was more on like the fringe of all of this plan. Really doesn't know
Yeah.
a lot. So yeah, it's very new, a new addition. Or at least that's what I'm surmising.
Eliseo and
Yeah,
Icarus
so-
make a history check, please. Sorry, Chrissy. I'll come back to you in just a second.
Natural 20. Total of 25.
Okay.
This is what happens when I angry throw my dice.
Eliseo, again, while you guys are talking this out, thinking back to that intricate mural,
Yep.
you get more the vibe that it may not have necessarily been a depiction of something that had happened in the past, more so a depiction of like a legend or fable. Or
Okay.
like that of what is desired. rather than what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Ulta, go ahead. Chrissy, go ahead.
Yeah, in in my mind and Ultim's mind, I guess, it's like organized crime. You're gonna have a head boss, and then you're gonna have a whole bunch of minions, and you're gonna have different factions doing different things. Like some are gonna be money launderers, and others are gonna run drugs. So like, I think that it's just the accumulation of all of them. I don't think the Red Wizards necessarily have much to do with it other than their resources to do the things to get the job done. Like, I think they're like a
They just
disposable
want to do their fuck
income.
shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're just
a
here to do their
disposable-
thing.
Yeah, because they like left as borrowed. They didn't even bother. They were like, well, goodbye. Off the side of the, you know what I
Pretty
mean?
much.
So
Like,
in Alta's head, she's thinking, okay, well, these Red Wizards are obviously, they're like disposable to get the job done of bringing back whatever they're trying to do. Like organized crime.
yeah.
Like a mob.
I mean, basically, this is cult stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think, unless there's anything immediate, I think we're at about our first good opportunity to take a brief break. Is that okay? Sound okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll be right back with more conspiracy theories.
I
We'll
have
be
a
live for
feeling.
this now, since we're
Oh.
discussing real stuff. Okay. Here we are.
Okay.
Continue.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I want my bird back, audience. But also, maybe more importantly, we have a friend that we left with the bird. What did we ask Gemna to do?
You asked her to keep watch at the small supply house that all the carts were unloading at on the road alongside the Mirror of Dead Men.
And that
Well-
was how many days ago?
I believe we got to at least 3.
So
I
we
hope that's
should
going well for
probably
her.
let her
I mean,
know.
I have a feeling, like, just knowing Jamna, like,
She's wandered
she's-
off by now.
yeah, like she's
Yeah.
gone and done her own thing. Like,
We should maybe let her know that we're fine though. I don't know if she cares that we're fine.
To be fair, I don't have much opinion because I have no capability to do so. So
Yeah.
she's a, I was gonna say she's a big girl. She can take care of herself, but
But
I think
she
the
is a
concern was that
halfling.
she's trying to take care of us.
Right. Like we asked her to keep watch, right? And that would be kind of inconsiderate of us to be
Well,
like, we
Didn't you
pieced
also
out
leave her with
3
Puff and then
different
take
portals.
Puff back magically?
I did not take Puff yet. I have not had Puff for 7 episodes because I've been leaving Puff with Jamna for a reason.
Is,
No,
there,
but we-
is there a physical limitation on the amount of range you have on that?
No, Puff can stay in existence as long as Puff does not get damaged
Oh,
enough
it's
to
only
get
the
murdered.
range with which it can communicate with you. That's
Correct.
what it is.
I cannot
But
communicate.
What I remember
but
is that you left Puff with her,
Mhm.
and then puffed Puff back to you
no,
so that you could scout.
no. I
You-
have not puffed him back.
You talked about that. Instead,
And then did
Aster shapeshifted and scouted as a
Oh.
bird.
Because we didn't want to take the bird away. Because in theory, Jamna was supposed to just send Puff to us if she was in trouble back when we were within a reasonable range.
Right.
Yeah,
And
but
now
back
we've
before we went through
taken,
2
like-
portals.
Yeah, we've taken like multiple teleportation
2 to 3 portals.
circles.
3 portals.
So like,
Okay, short
That's-
version. Puff is no
Listen
longer
now.
with you and clearly not able to communicate with you at all.
correct.
So are you dismissing and
No,
repoofing?
I don't want to do that without a heads up to Jamna, but I feel like we should do a heads up to Jamna because again,
Which
we
I
asked her
cannot
to
do
look.
until after a long rest.
Right, and we
I
don't have to do it
understand.
now, but it should be done at some point. Like we can do it at the end of the next day when we know that we have spell slots. Cat. I just don't want us to have the dangling thread of Jamna is out there doing stuff for us and we forgot to tell her that she either doesn't have to or that her job is done, you know?
Jamna's not a higher rank than us, is she?
You don't know.
Like, do we get our next orders from Jamna or from boss?
I'm boss.
Yeah, boss. I mean,
Jamna was just another hitchhiker that
she
was
was probably
she's never given us
Harem.
orders.
Yeah, she
I
was
don't think.
never
You
from
know.
the same faction.
Oh, she's stuck with us so long and seems so shady. I assume she was part of some group.
Yeah, it's in Harem.
Oh yeah.
She was guising as Centaurim, but it was
Oh.
later revealed that she's actually with Harper's.
Oh, I knew it.
She was double agenting.
I knew it. See, I pay attention.
Okay, so that's on the docket.
Yes.
I will shift back to where we are currently. What's next for you guys? What are we thinking?
Talk to the giants, I guess. Can we long rest, please? Wait, no,
No,
we
'cause
can't.
it's
'Cause
only
it's
been,
like
like-
10 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's later now.
Magic, can I also just
Afternoon.
make a point to like let Blagothkus know that we have scryed and that they are blowing that the direct message from this man, and I will describe him to a T however I can.
Mhm.
Yep.
I just want them to know that whatever this symbol is has absolutely been said that today will be the day that they are starting it. So that if he needs to get a hold of his giant friends and say, here it comes, let's get ready, then he can
Oh.
start preparing them. So
Yeah.
that it is, I just want that,
Mhm.
I don't want this poor guy to be surprised. By
Tiny
something.
people using horn signal. We go faster.
Okay.
And he'll sort of close his eyes, and bow his head for a moment. You'll clearly be able to hear him. What to him would be mumbling, but to you is like probably normal speaking volume. And he he just kind of mumbles some words about my beloved and dire need. And then you'll actually feel like a jolt. Everybody makes a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh. Who's gonna fall on the subway?
I'm actually not bad at those.
I'm gonna fall on the subway.
I also am going to fall on the subway.
What'd you
That's
get?
a nat one.
Ooh.
6.
So total of 3.
All right, Aster and Eliseo, the jolt absolutely catches you off guard, and you sort of like tumble over. Not enough to harm you or anything, but the rest of you have to like, oh. And clearly your speed has drastically picked up.
Please tell me that all of us have like the like face and wind machine of like face. That's how fast we're going.
I like to imagine Ulta grabbing hold of the pant cuff of the giant that she's standing next to.
I just fall flat on my face right in front of my new giant best friend, and I try not to think about it too much.
Sanctuary, tonight.
Cool.
If we could go faster this whole time, why were we going slow?
I assume conserving resources?
But it doesn't move like with animals. Like there's not. Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
Magic still has a cost.
Yeah.
Oh, that took me a second to realize you were talking about using magic and not talking about me.
Oh,
Magic has a cost.
What?
yeah. Death, you magic juice does indeed also have
To
a
pay for the
cost.
service of magic.
Anywho.
Tip your GMs, folks.
Okay. So, you're moving faster. You're going to arrive, according to Blagothkus, tonight rather than tomorrow.
Hooray.
Is there anything else that you would like to be discussing or doing? in
we actually
general.
told someone to meet us at Sanctuary, right? We told someone's leader. Was
Yes.
it Lord's Alliance?
No, we told Leosin, I believe.
Leosin, okay.
Yeah.
Who is
Lysol.
Harper's.
Yep.
I couldn't remember because I know we sent out some more messages to, I forget her name right now, but the badass lady with the armor and sword.
She is Lord's
Astral.
Alliance. That's Astral.
Mhm.
Yes.
Astrio, that's it.
Okay, so this is an opportunity of at least a few hours. So I don't want to completely skip it unless you guys want to, but if there's downtime stuff you would like to do, whether that's conversation or working on projects or more exploring, well, you did most of the exploring already. Now is an opportunity to sort of have at what you would like.
Gonna copy some spells into my spell book.
Okay.
Is there any sign of the White Wizard group? Like the folks that we saw before, anywhere within this castle?
The
I
White
can't leave my
Wizard.
hut. Or not the White Wizard, the person who is dressed in the white ensemble.
Talus the
Oh,
White?
Talus?
Yes. Is there any sign of their group here at all in the castle? Because they said they were going to look in areas out here.
During your time here, you had not seen any of them.
Rad. I've got nothing that will help me with this. I'm going to mention that to Blagothkus, that there were some folks that were working with the cults that were going to try to be in this castle. And that they should just keep their eyes open. That there might be a secondary group here.
He will silently agree with a nod and start to sort of patrol himself and check a few of the immediate area rooms.
Radical.
If we have downtime, I would like to do some target practice. My intention would be close combat archery,
Okay.
because I want to try to work on that. That used to be a feat. I think they might have taken it out or something, like a fighting style. It used to be a fighting style. But so that is my intention of practice.
Okay, so you can have, I'm going to say up to 4 hours. So one attempt per hour to
Okay.
add to your pool.
Okay.
How long ago was it that I added to this sheet? Why can I not find it? Is it shared with me? That might
For
be-
the purposes of how many spells I can copy into my spell book, how many hours of downtime is it?
We're going to have to refer to Xanathars. Do you have Xanathars or should I send it to
Yeah,
you?
it's an hour per level of spell. So how many hours do I have, which affects how many spells I'm going to copy in?
Up to 4. It's going to be
Yeah.
4 hours between now and when we arrive.
Good deal. I will let you know the spells I pick.
Ulta will find a private corner somewhere and practice with Sunrunner.
Ooh, okay. What are we practicing?
Well, we have accomplished sit, stay, and fly. That's all. We'll go with roll over, fetch, and breathing fire.
So each one of those is going to take some time. Are we just sort of mixing and progressing all the bars simultaneously, or are we trying to focus on one at a time?
Yeah, we'll do the same way we did before, where it's like all three. Oh no, did my thing do the thing?
It blipped, but we can still hear and see you.
Okay, cool. It's just the three at the same time, even if it takes a long time.
Okay. So for that combined pool, if you could please note that that's going to be a total of 50 successes before 20 failures.
for mine, since it's a new thing that I just started, I figured we could talk about the details later, so I don't bog it down.
Okay.
Because it's a new attempt, or kind of check at least, that I'm used to.
Right. So this is going to be, we're going to call it athletics checks.
Okay.
For when you're making actual like success versus failure checks. And then just remember that the general formula here is for every hour you spend practicing, it's going to add a skill point. And then each attempt at success versus failure is another skill point
Okay.
plus the success or failure.
Magic, I can't remember what my Twilight Sanctuary upgrade was supposed to be, but I know that we decided on insight checks being used to upgrade it. So that's what I'm working on, and I will try to find it in my notes what I actually meant by that.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's been a while since we've actually done the downtime activities, so we'll probably regroup about that a little bit before next session as well. But we can at least take note of what we're trying to do right now. Aster, anything for you?
I think Aster, like, now that she's reconvened with everybody, is going to go out to the gate on this level and just look out and let Seymour see outside.
Okay. So you head to the gate. It's not locked anymore, and peering out, it's a little bit windy, but you can tell that there is some extra, most likely magical energy sort of encasing the bubble that the castle would create if it were actually like a solid bubble or egg-shaped thing. So it's really just a breeze outside of the gate, and sitting there, all you can really see is the rush of mists and clouds, and it's absolutely constant. Easy enough to tell, again, another effect of the castle itself, and you'd be able to easily enough put together that this is probably a concealment while it's in the sky. So it's not really much, but just kind of the open expanse of mists and clouds.
Still really cool. The sky. Yeah, has Seymour's demeanor changed at all, or is he just...
He's still kind of like clutching with his little branch arms, he's clutching the end of your staff, like leaning over to like try to look around for something, but then like after a few seconds he just sort of like looks up at you and then like back down, like he's looking for something but never really finds it.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Okay. Anything else during this time then?
I just want to make sure that, like, while, you know, Ulta would try to, like, go off probably a little bit by herself to do this, our dragon hating friends wouldn't try to, like, smoosh him or anything, right? Like, I don't have to worry about them seeing him and trying to fight an even tinier dragon?
You're trying to conceal this?
Yeah, she's intentionally, like, trying to find a private spot, but I also don't know what that would look like here. So
Ulta would at least recall the room. I'll shift your token.
Also, they
over
can't
here.
see inside the dome if you wanted to practice in the dome.
Oh, that's also an option.
I'll do that then.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving you back.
I just don't want him to try to smush my friend.
Right. So yeah, you're good in that department. While I'm shifting you guys, is there anything else? Sounds like a no. Okay, if I could find this
The
Show
no
map.
my
for
head
me,
now.
dog.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
still figuring
Madeline,
out
are you not
spells.
looking at the screen to see us all shake our heads?
All right. We're back at Gandalf. Okay. A few hours later, we're getting to the end of the day. You will feel the castle start to slow down. And Blagothkus will beckon you toward the upper level of the castle again.
Well, I won't see.
Like all of us, or like just some of us?
Everyone.
Oh, okay, I trust it.
I will bridal carry Sbarro. with me. I'm strong enough to do it. Juno's technically stronger than me, Courtney, so based on math and technicalities.
Okay.
She could probably bench press close to 300 pounds. Doing great.
Okay. Is anyone else not going?
No.
Or anyone not going? Okay.
I think we're all going.
Reaching the top of the stairway that you've used before to get to the upper level, you will notice the outside environment has changed pretty drastically from the gentle breeze and like mist covering the soft sunlight into a deep and continuous storm. Blagothkus points toward a mountain peak that you are quickly approaching that has, aside
Party
from...
Gandalf?
Party Gandalf. I don't know why this one's not going. 1 second. Ah, there it is. The mountain range has like a massive crevice at the top at one point, and it just grows bigger and bigger as you get closer. And you realize that this crevice isn't really just a crack or crevice in the mountain. It's really like a surface level opening that's completely covered by swirling wind, water, and rock. And with the occasional crackle of lightning striking around it, the castle eventually goes right through. And on the other side, you'll be able to see this swirling mass of clouds, storm, rock, and lightning around what Blagothkus softly calls Sanctuary. And I had it, and I lost it. Let's get it again.
In my mind, I'm picturing the swirling island on Elden Ring, so I don't need a visual. It's fine.
Yes.
Here we go.
Ooh, I love that though. Oh wait. A big lightning bolt. Maybe this is what we saw. That one time I realized
Right.
there's a giant cloud going that way.
That is what we saw.
Yeah, because we saw the huge lightning strike to the mountain.
Yeah, it's like hold on.
It was on our way to whatever it was.
It's like
Altar
we could
call.
either, we could follow that or we could go somewhere else. And we decided to go the other way.
So there was a
Right.
shortcut that we noticed a long time ago.
No. This was like advanced plot. We wouldn't have known anything if we had actually done this.
Yeah. Anything that you guys want to do talk about while you are approaching this?
Oh, you are muted,
I'm
friend.
gonna
There you
unmute first. Juno doesn't want to do a whole lot, but just kind of sit there and like feel the natural effects of being this high up in the sky, lightning bolts like crazy, and just like letting the storm swirl around her. And just, I will have put Esbara down at this point. Just kind of embracing the stormy weather.
I feel like, honestly, I'd feel kind of out of element because, like, my sister and my connections are very, like, around parts of nature that are not this, like the sun and the moon, and then none of that is visible in a storm. So it's kind of like, although it's a still nature, or like I was still raised in nature, but it like feels distant somehow or disconnected.
For you, Icarus, with that particular thought in mind, the like literal static in the air and the feel of what I'll say is like an aura around you, especially at the moment you pass through this crevice that's concealed, you would get a feeling of connection to the magical energy that's creating this, that is actually at its root like the same primal, raw power of nature, just in a sort of different light.
It's the last element. We need it.
The fifth element.
All right, so you are approaching a small clearing in this image, containing what at the distance looks like a small village. As you get closer, it's not so small. I'm going to throw up a series of images of the nothing short of fucking epic giants that you see.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Okay, but I want to marry the tall lady.
Which one?
Let's see if I can get this to line up well.
Yes.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Want to hand out 3 on the left? So
It's pretty
That's a lot of giants. I want to marry.
oh, that guy in the middle and 2 looks so
I would like the
dope.
lady that's number 2 and hand out 1.
Well, this isn't a dating excursion.
Exactly. Romance and NPC.
Excuse me. It's not a dating excursion yet.
Yes.
Sorry.
Felt that energy coming up.
Oh boy.
You give us enough time, we can make anything a dating sim.
We could.
Oh my-
We really could. All right, so the castle will eventually stop at this clearing, and Blagothkus will lead the way along with. I called him Wolfgar before. It's not Wolfgar. It is. That's the wrong D&D name. Hulda was right. Wigloff. That was it.
Oh yeah,
Wow. Okay.
that
Wigloff,
sounds
not
familiar.
And all 3 of them are going to be in the like most relaxed and I guess just relaxed and ready to go demeanor that you've seen them to this point. Everything's been all tense and serious and unsure of what's going to happen next, but here it's clearly they're among friends. Sorry, just pulling up a note here. Okay.
Countess Sansuri, Thane, Limrith, Chief Gu, all my friends.
And they will all begin conversing, I believe in a language none of you understand, but you would have heard it to this point at least once already, so you would recognize it as giant speak. And then they all look toward you after maybe a few minutes. The woman in handout Giants 2 on the far right. Is
No, we
going
don't
to
have them
look at
open
you.
anymore. I need to pop them back up.
Well, I at least have it on the screen for
okay.
stream to see as well.
Twitch. Okay, I see it.
She's going to
I like her.
turn toward you guys and sort of take a knee, with Blagothkus and all the rest sort of standing now with arms crossed, clearly ready to listen. And she addresses you.
He says that you've been a big help in our endeavors and have frightening new information. Please do tell.
Well, we're glad to have done what we can for you and your friends here. My name's Aster, by the way. Hi. This is Juno, Eliseo, Icarus, and Ulta. We, unfortunately do have some dangerous news. We got information that the tiny people with the dragons are sounding the horn again.
Oh, please. My common speak is much better than Blagothkus's. You don't need to use his simplified terms and idioms.
Get fucked, Blagothkus.
Well,
Don't repeat that to
the
us.
same. More specifically, the Red Wizards and the Shadow Warriors.
Shadow Warriors is a term he used as well. We had not encountered such capabilities in our pasts.
Oh, they're quite terrifying. They can teleport and just move very quickly a couple of distances. And I'm pretty sure they're responsible for taking Ulta's shadow. She hasn't had it for a while.
You believe they took it?
I think so. After one of our encounters, she just didn't have it.
Strange. Even I had not encountered or heard of such, well, at least magical capabilities.
We're getting worried that nobody has. No one's really had the answer.
As ancient and old as all of us are, I would surmise a guess that if none of us had heard of it, it must be very new.
Mm-hmm. At least from our understanding, these Red Wizards are too.
Ah, yes, the denizens of Thay. They've been a nuisance as long as I can remember. But never this far west.
Oh, we do have one with us, and I'm like Juno's carrying him at this point. An astral point. They did manage to capture one, though he doesn't really know much. They're just in conjunction with the dragon cult and doing the work they want to do.
Yeah, we still haven't found out why, but...
Well, the last we had encountered any red wizards, they were simply dithering about with their magics of the undead.
Well, now they're using that on dragons too, which is not a fun combo.
Ah. I see what has spurred this one's interests then.
Giving a shifty-eyed glance toward Blagothkus.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bust you, bud.
Well, we'll help with whatever preparations we can. I assume you all will want to prepare for anything people have to throw at you all.
It seems we'll have to speed our preparations. Tell me, well, us rather, how did you come to begin on this journey that eventually led you to Skyreach Castle and my brethren?
We were in search of one of the red wizards who had crossed us. Oh, beyond that, we were just searching down the dragon cult to try to stop the raise of the dragon queen, I think. And I looked at everyone, I was like, quote me, is that close enough?
I mean, pretty much they're also a threat down on the ground.
And this is how you've come to assume that they're working together?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Curious.
A few of the other giants are going to sort of start shifting away. What's everybody's passive insights? I have that.
A lot. 23.
15.
14.
Sorry, 11.
Okay.
16.
Eliseo, for you, it might be kind of unclear if it's like they lost interest or something. But for everyone else, especially Juno, yeah, Juno, you're gonna get the vibe that some of them have heard what they've needed to hear and are starting to like handle some of their own preparations, talking to their own, what you see now are like little bands, little groups, kind of all around this same area, but in their own separate clusters.
When you fought the dragons the last time, where did you fight them?
On land and sea, in mountains and in the middle of the sky, across the entire continent. It was rather a mess.
It may be worth looking into where your previous battles were held if they are in fact able to bring back dead dragons.
Ah. An astute idea.
We've only saw one be turned undead. I don't know how far along they are in their process, but if there's any particularly bad ones that you remember, particularly tricky fights.
You saw it become turned.
Yes, when we arrived, it was a white dragon.
And this is the one you fought at the top of the castle with Blagothkus.
Yes.
Why did you wait so long to witness it turn?
We had been transported to a different room while this process had begun to deal with other undead.
And you were in this conflict for hours before witnessing the final transformation?
No, it only took a few moments.
That is a dangerous implication. You're sure it was only a few moments?
GM, am I
Unless-
sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was like, unless they somehow messed with time too.
They out time wizard our time wizard.
Arcana check from Eliseo, please.
Heck yeah. Not great.
37.
14.
Okay. Not great, but you at least are gleaning from this conversation some background knowledge you might have glanced across about the process of rendering something undead definitely takes a lot longer than what you had witnessed. Details, maybe not so much, but at least like your history and study is lining up with her concern about the speed with which you witnessed this happening.
So we have the Thayans who have, it seems, more mastery of their arts and desires, allied with a new following, I suppose, of the dragon folk, also allying with dragons themselves, attempting to create undead ones at the same time, and raise the queen from hell itself. Have I encompassed that well?
Not to mention whatever these shadow warriors are too.
Yes. The Shadow Warriors, also allied with the opposition.
Sounds really like optimistic when you say it like that. You're hopeful, you know.
I believe that Blagothkus and his ambitions, while unfortunately tied us up in the wrong side of an upcoming conflict, has led you to us for good reason. And we've discovered something hopefully not too late. Tiamat herself would be no soft comeuppance to this world. While his ambitions and some of the clan's ambitions of fighting dragons for this barbaric uniting could happen, I believe we have much more dangerous implications to consider and to fight against.
At this point, you will see, Aster, you definitely see it first. A large bird flying from the same direction that you had come in on the castle. On a very clear heading toward you guys. As it gets closer, you see a giant raven. Any reaction to that?
I mean, I'm just going to tentatively just kind of wait and see if it's carrying a message or if it's going to show up and like, does it look like the giants like notice or are perturbed by this, or is this just usual for them?
With your attunement with animals in nature specifically, I'm pointing out that you definitely notice it first. You would know that you're noticing it before anyone else. But after a few seconds, as it's getting even closer, the Blagothkus and Countess Sensory, I have all the names here because there's so many of them, will definitely notice it and like change their gaze. Sensory will actually stand up and put her hands behind her back in anticipation. As the raven lands right in between you and them, looks at you, gives a squawk, and changes into Rydoth.
Gang,
It's
gang.
him!
He'll just give you a smirk and then look up at Countess and give like a pretty deep head bow and clearly cast a spell. At the same time, Countess and two of the other women in the group, in the Giants group, will silently signal for the rest of the Giants to clear away from a very particular space that you notice a sort of unfamiliar runic etching burned into the ground. The three of them will hold their hands up, palms touching each other, cast another spell, and a blue hue will line all of the lines of these runic symbols, erupting into a cylinder of light. And with that clash of lightning, so perfectly timed, you will see the other faction leaders appear.
Oh,
This is kind of
Blagothkus
sick.
Rydiff
is-
just had to come separately, didn't he?
Never tardy to the party.
Blagothkus will be clearly elated at this, yelling,
My old friend, Tiny People Champion.
and hold out, kneel at Astriel, and hold out his fist toward her enthusiastically, but like with a brace with his other arm on the ground and like leaning in. Astriel's gonna have this massive smirk on her face and just reply, my old friend Blagothkus. And you'll see her left hand sort of like flicker. She's clearly casting a spell on herself. Rear back and full on punch one of the fingers of this guy, and another spark of thunder will erupt between them, and another clash of lightning, and then a clash of thunder following it. And Blagothkus will kind of like do this in a playful manner.
I thought I was special, but that's worth not being the only one that gets to fist bump him.
So now we have the leaders of the giants and the leaders of your factions and you guys all together in one place. I think this is a good opportunity for another brief breather, and we will continue in just a few minutes.
Oh god.
right, we're back.
Oh no, what a crazy cold open.
We're
Got us
back.
this time.
Yeah, I intentionally did not cold open. Because, spoiler alert, this is kind of big stuff, pun intended and not. Because giants. We are currently treating with several leaders of the various factions of giants, as well as our factions. Man, factions of giants just sounds so much cooler than our factions. Now I want to have a name for them, but anywho, Astriel, Rydoth, Onthar Froom, and Leosin have all arrived, and clearly, at least Astriel has a pre-existing friendship with at least Blagothkus, and Rydoth was definitely recognized coming in as well. And the faction leaders, after having that brief interaction with Blagothkus directly, come to you. And Astriel's going to go directly to Ulta. Tell me everything.
Well, from when we left Waterdeep or from the beginning? Because I feel like we could cut some of that out, right?
Probably just from Waterdeep. We had a pretty good idea from there.
All right. Well, she's going to glance at our red wizard friend, who is, I think, being marriage held by Juno.
I dropped him on the ground at some point.
I'm gonna
okay.
say Onthar,
Yeah, I'm trying
standing
not to
near
be
him.
jealous.
you dropping him on the ground, and Onthar definitely would have gone up to him and given him a kick and just sat on him. He's looking at Ulta, waiting to hear the story from all you guys now.
Yeah, I mean, my friends can obviously fill in the details I missed, but we did our best to infiltrate. I don't know that was extremely successful, but we did follow quietly through a lot. We found an outpost, and I'm going to look at the group because I don't remember the name of where that first initial wooded outpost was that we followed them to.
The one on the road?
Yeah.
It remained unnamed because it was not explored in detail, so you can just call it the Roadhouse.
The Roadhouse. Okay, I will explain where that is. So if they want to backtrack and check that out. And then I would say Ulta would go on to explain in as much detail as possible, going to the castle, infiltrating the castle, finding the runic circles, and following them through to here, getting to the castle. She will make sure she says it in as much detail as possible. Chrissy, the player, has the worst memory. So
okay.
I will absolutely leave most of the things out, but she will make sure that she's, to the best of her ability, describing the places, so that if the factions want to go back and find them, they have at least a better idea of where things might be.
Well, it's no wonder we had a hard time tracking anything that wasn't the immediate raided cities and towns then, huh? It seems that they've been operating mostly in the woods, along unbeaten paths.
They did also intentionally, I believe, bypass the city center of Waterdeep, so...
Bypass by another route, or do you mean around the city entirely?
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but I know that once we deviated at Waterdeep, they continued on. So I don't know that while they might have plenty of people in Waterdeep that are supporting their cause, I don't know that they are holding much gravity there, unless it is in some of the underground things that we had not fully gotten to explore.
There were rumors of half-dragons involved with these caravans. Did you happen to encounter any more other than Cyanrath?
Yep. Yeah.
There was one named Resmir. I believe they were a black half-dragon.
Resmir's a name I've heard before. Any others?
I don't think. I think there was just the three, right? There was the first half dragon that I fought.
Yep, that's Cyanrath.
And then Resmir. And then was the other one a half dragon? No?
Nope.
No? Okay.
You've only encountered those two, and then everyone else of like the high ranking has been the Shadow Warriors. So Fulham and Talus and Resmir. Okay, so she'll respond. So
wait, Frulum, Talus, Resmir?
Resmir was one of them.
But we also saw Resmir as half-dragon.
Resmir is a half dragon and a Shadow Warrior.
Oh,
Because they stole my shadow.
I hate that.
Ugh.
And
I
at
thought
that
it was
point,
Frulum that stole your shadow.
Oh, was it Frulum on death?
Frulum is the first one you had encountered
Oh.
in the Dragon Hatchery. Okay, so at the point that you all are realizing this as well, she'll say, so there is a crossing between this faction of Shadow Warriors and the half-dragons themselves.
Apparently so.
Yeah, it seems like there are like 3 different clubs right now, you know? Not including the dragons themselves.
Well, it looks like that the 3 clubs, as you call them, are banding together relatively healthily. If the Shadow Warriors brought at least one half-dragon into their ranks, and you personally witnessed 2 Red Wizards actively changing one dragon into a Dracolich before your very eyes, it seems we have a close-knit web. Closer than we ever thought.
We also, thanks to Juno, have gotten our eyes on another person with the name Severin? Question mark? I'm gonna say it.
In character, you do not know the name.
Oh, I don't know the name. Okay, well then I would not say the name. I will then just.
Can you throw up his picture so we can describe him?
I
That's just what would happen. I would describe him to the best of my abilities.
Yeah. So everything that I show ever is in your journals. It should be the, I believe, second or third symbol from the left. Like the chat one is the active one. It should be one of the next 2. And
it looks like a newspaper.
Yeah, it looks like a newspaper.
Yeah.
You can always pull those up for yourself at will. I'm just going to leave the images of the giants up for the show here.
So we will make sure Juno is, as they are describing them, Ulta will also explain that they have met and stated that they were going to blow the horn of what we can only assume means war today. Like, on this day, our daily bread.
Yikes.
Daily bread.
As you mention that, a low drone emits across the skies.
Did that sound like a horn to anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your doorbell?
All of the giants are immediately at like almost at a battle ready stance, as if something jumped in front of them and initiated combat right then and there.
I'm too young to be drafted.
You're the oldest person here.
Actually, no, that
Besides
would
Juno.
be
I said besides Juno.
The Countess chimes in.
Well, it seems they were not exaggerating with their claims. That was indeed the Drakhorn.
You will also hear a dull, very, very faint roar in the background. Unmistakable as a dragon. In the distance beyond the crevice that you had entered through. And Aster, Juno, and Icarus, something you can't explain that seems like it's coming from like your very nature. Be it maybe deep memories or warnings or history lessons or just your very connection to nature itself, just sends any hair you have on end. A deep chill. Dangers afoot.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Astriel will continue then, as the other three also have like even more serious and concerned furrows and looks on their faces. Well, it seems that the scales of war have tipped. Luckily, the things you had done leaned the council in our favor before. When you first arrived at Waterdeep, at least that was the case. We four can report back for tonight and set up a council meeting for the morning. I would assume this constitutes emergency protocols. We'll let you guys rest, at least for this night, if you might join us tomorrow to share your stories with them for yourselves. I have a feeling firsthand will be better than the already tensed relationship that we faction leaders have with the other lords. And we can tighten up some relationships and have better direction of what's next.
Yes, we do need rest. Some of us have less consciousness today. Some even their life. And I'm just gonna look at Sabaro. You may want to keep an eye on him. While he might not be super involved in the cult, I think he knows a lot more about what's going to happen this time with the rise of these dragons.
Well, we'll take him with. The way I see it, either the wards will immediately incinerate him upon entry, or we have a potentially valuable prisoner with potentially valuable information for the council's direct use. Win-win.
Can you guys take over watching him? I'm very tired.
Of course. And then Anthar is going to like just super awkwardly scoop him up over his shoulder. And he's, Asbar is clearly very uncomfortable, grunting with every single little movement that happens. Anthar is going to just like silently give like a quick wave to a few of the giants, and then one in particular, the one in handout 1 on the far left with the humongous beard.
Hell yeah.
Replies with a silent nod. Rydoth will again give what looks like a deep and respectful bow to Countess. And Astriel will look at Blagothkus and say, well, our big battle might not happen, but maybe side by side will be good enough. Looks like it's gonna happen soon.
Not the situation I sought, but it will be glorious.
The 3 giant women will perform the same ritual to create the teleportation circle in the same place. And all the faction leaders will start to enter, beckoning for you to join them.
Will
I hop in
do.
because I want to know what it feels like.
Before Ulta hops in, she's going to walk over to Blagothkus and out of one of her pockets pull out like a small statuette that she's been carrying because she collects trinkets. And it's like a small little giant trinket that she's had since she was a little kid. And she is going to just kind of like set it down and bow deeply and say, I hope to see you on the battlefield as well. And then we'll get into the circle.
Blagothkus is going to pick it up and is looking at it like this. And just get a little smile on his face and give you a nod before you enter.
I fist bump him again.
He fist bumps you again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someday I'm gonna learn Bigby's hand just so I can fist bump him like on a better scale.
Awesome. Okay, so we enter the circle and end up. I gotta change this. There we go. We end up back at Waterdeep. Where'd Gandalf go? There he is. Whoop.
Wait, is that your way to like figure out where we are on the map, Magic?
Yes.
Is that okay?
That's you guys.
Hell yeah.
It's very good.
I was like, we're going right to where Gandalf is.
Right to the party wizard.
Come on, Courtney. Figure it out.
I actually have to put you guys on the Waterdeep map.
Waterdeep map. Hello, kitten.
Where did it go?
Yes, I will use the hand to pet cat.
Okay, seriously? Where did it go? Why can't I find anything today? Crying.
It just be like that some days.
Hold, please. I'm not going to be able to find it and talk at the same time. Sorry, chat.
Would you like us to make distracting sounds?
Yeah, sure.
I just sneezed twice, but I wasn't on mic, so.
Why
Hey,
not?
chat. Hey,
I don't
chat.
want to
Did
sneeze
you know we
into
have
the
really
mic.
cool
I have too
merch?
many allergies for that.
Yeah,
Here we are.
chat, we have cool merch. Also, if you need coffee, there's that 10% off Found Familiar with the code TPK. I know this because I just bought coffee a week and a half ago.
Uh-huh.
All right, found it.
Woohoo!
Wow! We found it.
We did
Here
it.
we are.
We made it. Oh, we're really close to the yawning portal.
Hello.
All right. Ulta, you would recognize that we are inside a chamber within Castle Waterdeep. And the faction leaders tell you that they need the evening to make preparations and give information to the other members of the council, and that you are free to find your place of rest for the evening, sorry.
Like here at Castle Waterdeep, or
No, you'd have to leave
wanna-
the castle.
Oh,
Well, shit.
come on.
I mean, we did pay for a full week of rooms at the yawning portal.
Goodness
did.
gracious.
We did. I don't know if it's been a
Go
week.
there.
I think we said it was like 4 days.
3 days. 3
3
days.
days, 4 days.
All right,
Yep.
that'll work then. We'll head to the Yawning Portal.
Yawning portal.
Okay.
Sorry.
You know what that means?
Another map change.
Music change.
Music change.
I wonder how Xanathar's doing.
Didn't we kill him?
Or not Xanathar.
Bolo?
Volo. I wonder how Volo's doing.
Didn't he die? He's missing, isn't he?
He was
I know
missing the last time you had thought about it.
Yeah. He's
We
missing.
have left so many threads.
It's fine.
So many of them.
I was doing my best to follow the plot.
Listen,
So-
there was a lot of plots.
Welcome back to the best sounding tavern in D&D.
Hell yeah.
The
Is
only
Volo
portal.
here?
You can look around. You gonna look around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if he magically showed up again.
Volo is not here.
Oh,
Look at this kitty falling asleep. He is passed out.
Puff, why are you so sleepy?
A cat is very
Oh wait,
different than
never
an
mind. I was gonna say I can cast sending spell. I cannot. I am.
No, we're still tired.
Time to sleep. I pull over a chair, not even thinking about.
Anything you guys would like to do, or we just heading to bed for the evening?
Can my time putting spells in my spell book be split up? Like, if I'm trying to do 6 hours worth of study, can I do 1 hour and come back to it, or does it have to be 6 uninterrupted?
No, you can split it up.
Awesome. Then, if there's time, I'll knock out another hour of progress.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'm so excited for more spells.
pull the fancy things that I got out of my bag and say, LSAO, when we're,
Mhm.
I don't know if this is better before bed or after bed, because I don't know what you've got left, but I've got these fancy leather bracelets and a fancy sparkly blue potion for figuring out stuffs.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can do those now.
That's the most thoughts I can form right now, so. I like how you dramatically threw the cat to identify them.
Yep. Listen, don't tolerate getting bit. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Feisty girl's hiding.
Ulta is going to ask the barkeep if there is a person here that she could pay that is responsible enough to deliver a message and a package.
Sorry, I got distracted by doing that page setting all the wrong ways. Can you repeat that, please?
Ulta is just going to ask the barkeep if there is somebody here that could send and deliver a message and package.
Yes, we could certainly do that for you.
Cool. Give me 1 second. And she's going to jot down probably on whatever is the equivalent to a napkin here at the good old yawning portal. And then she will take out some of the trinkets she's kind of collected along the way, like the rocks and feathers and all sorts of things. Kind of wrap them up into a towel or whatever, some sort of cloth. And pass off a gold or two, however much it'll cost to get there tonight, to her family here in Waterdeep.
Okay. Would you like to divulge what the letter says, or are we keeping that under wraps?
It would probably be a very placated styled letter of things are going great, adventuring is a blast, really seeing the world, don't worry, everything's great, look at all these cool things I've collected along the way.
That's a deception check.
Could be.
All right.
But it would,
Text, no one can tell your tone.
Yeah, she would definitely be attempting to write something that is not going to make any of her family members anxious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Tokens are being dumb, so I'm just gonna stay on this screen. And this is going to the Cragmaws, yes?
Sorry. Yep. Yes.
You got it. And he'll sort of like shove it under the counter, very not gently, and go back to continuing to bartend for the immediate time.
Cool. Cool. And a round of drinks, and then I'll slide another gold across, hoping that maybe that makes it go quicker, with also some beverages. And I'll order like a tea and, waters and whatever anyone wants, really.
What does everyone want?
I mean, a water is fine for Aster, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, after the day we've had, I feel like I'm too tired to drink.
We're the most boring people at this bar.
Like where you start sipping a glass of wine and fall asleep before you finish it,
Yeah, I think if they're like sitting down to sip water together, Juno will like kind of just be a little like half bent over at the table, just poking at her new lantern that she hasn't had the opportunity to attune to yet. Just wonder what the thing is flying around inside of there. Just like sleepily try talking to her lantern.
Alessio wants to do spell stuff, so if I have to be present at the table because family said so, I will be, but otherwise I'll be in a quiet room being pestered with magical objects by Icarus, but whatever.
Okay.
I imagine I fall asleep before you finish identifying, and then
Yes.
you're like, well, you like turn to tell me, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
So is this sharing a drink to like do things and discuss, or are we trying to head
To be
toward
fair,
the-
Ulta was just trying to speed up the process of getting her package delivered by giving him more money. But also, if people want to enjoy the beverages, she would absolutely entertain that.
I think, like, in Juno's brain, it's just nice to sit around people who know how grave the situation is. Inside of this tavern where people don't know anything is going on. You know, when, like, the hobbits are all sitting there at the end of Return of the King, and they're just like, these motherfuckers don't even know. Like, it's like that, only with worry now instead of relief.
Yeah, in that vein, I think at some point Aster would find some type of nocturnal creature, because it is the night at this point. So either a bat or like an owl or something, and cast an animal messenger and send a message back home to please protect the village. I can't talk a lot about what's happening, but please stay together.
Okay, so it sounds like we got drinks. Do we like go to rooms like quiet space, and we're just sort of winding down now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I had to change the music to match the vibe. Anything that we're discussing or doing other than, so LSAO, I got you for about an hour of working on spells. Aster, that probably takes you a couple minutes. Anything else that we're doing, talking about before going to bed for the evening?
Icarus wanted his magic items noted. I can take that out of my spell time if he would like.
It's short enough that it doesn't have to take away from the hour.
Icarus
I
drops things and I just throw them immediately back, telling him what they are.
And that was something that I
need to like
find.
magic check. It was like leather bracelets and blue
I had some sort of
potion.
magic bracers and a blue potion.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't you going to identify that?
I don't have an actual identify spell, but I am magic-y enough.
Does
Oh.
And I
anyone
think
here
that
have
magic has
identify?
been letting it stand.
No, we've been going by like identify to actually identify, but you can tell that they're magical.
Yeah.
The bracers you would have to. Wait, no. Let me. Sorry.
Last time I said I'd identify, I lied just so I could touch a magic item.
Here we go.
We've made
yeah.
an adult every time.
Yeah, I've never had the identify spell, but you've been able to let me have magic vibes about all of them, or have recognized them
to
before.
a certain point. So the longsword is just a +1 longsword. The longbow is just a +1 longbow. The potion. So I'll let you make an Arcana check for this.
To do the wafting. Heyo, 24.
It is a potion of gaseous form.
I'm not telling him that because he would just make jokes.
You can tell that the bracers have a more potent permanent magical energy, and that they would require attunement or specific identification in order to get details about.
Gee, if only we were going to see more powerful wizards or something soon.
I guess I'll just put them on as I go to sleep and just
I
wear
don't
them.
recommend that.
Well, we don't have a better choice right now.
Yes, we do.
We're
The better
preparing for
choice is to
war.
not put them on while you go to sleep and ask the wizards tomorrow.
You can. The attunement process only takes an hour, so you can put them on and sort of let the thing happen for the hour before
Hey.
actually going to sleep if you want.
Hey, GM, can you not enable him?
No, I'm gonna enable.
Okay.
I'll just put them on and fall asleep, and then an hour later wake up and go back to sleep.
Okay, so after the hour, you are familiar enough with them to understand that they are the bracers of defense.
Hell yeah.
Wait, is that the ones that you can't wear armor for?
Yes.
Don't we all wear armor?
I don't
I'm
know.
a wizard.
Oh shoot! So I was supposed to give these back to you. I go. I don't know what they are, but they feel useless.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I'll go back to bed and tell them in the morning.
All right. Anything else before bedtime?
Don't think so.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think Juno just kind of like mindlessly hangs out a little bit, like not fully present with Ulta and Aster, while LSAO and Icarus are trying to identify objects and do spell stuff, and just try to like also like poke at their critters a little bit and be like, I got a fucking lamp. These two have actual animals, and just kind of sit there and be like, what is this? I, Courtney, am very excited about the lantern, but Juno is hella confused.
All right. So, sleeping arrangements, what are they for the 2 rooms that you have?
I hope me with my wife.
I have fallen asleep on the foot of Juno's bed.
Okay, me
Like
and my
before
wife and
before
my
they even
brother.
fell asleep, they were sitting there doing something, and I just. But at least I'm at the foot.
Yep.
Every room does have 2 beds.
I will be bunking with Aster.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes this awkward now.
So what I will do is, as I cuddle in next to LSAO, I'm slowly gonna reach down and pull Icarus up, and big spoon Icarus, and be big spooned by LSAO, and just fall asleep in a sandwich.
Doing a good sandwich.
Yeah.
I fully expected you to like pull me up and just push me out of the bed.
You know, the end of the world might come tomorrow, so I try to be sentimental.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I have anxiety. Come here, brother that I've known for 213 years.
And partner that you've known for 213 months, weeks. Weeks.
Weeks.
Yeah. 2.5 weeks.
Sup. 2.5 weeks? No.
Just kidding. That's how fast we got married, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else happening before sleepy time?
No.
No, sir.
Nope.
For the love of God, let me sleep.
Okay.
We just want a long rest.
I'm just gonna cast magical sleep on myself.
It's
Take
been a long
Xanax
few
real quick.
days for you guys. Okay, so 2 things to talk about. Ulta, you're gonna think back to realize all the times that you've been, or I guess all the times. It's been at least 2 separate times now, 3, that you've been in Waterdeep, and you've had this tiny dragon with you. You know full well from history and experience and conversations with Astriel that that should not be possible at this point. Maybe it's just hitting you. Who knows? It's just kind of coming to the forefront of your mind for a moment here. And while I let that marinade, sorry, I should specify, because of the wards around the city that are specific to repelling dragons. While you're pondering that, I'll go to Icarus for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You chose to sleep, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. There's weird technicalities there. Basically, I was just tired enough that I passed out. I don't know if I needed to sleep or if I just passed out in a trance, but...
Well, you can pick. You can always choose to sleep. You just can't forcibly be put to sleep.
I guess I'll sleep then. I feel like the way you said it makes me think it was a mistake.
No, I promise.
Okay.
At least you would know that. But Juno, throughout the course of the night, you'll feel Icarus sort of squirm under what seems like stress to you a few times. And Icarus, you're going to experience a dream, vision, whatever you want to call it,
My note sheet out.
with your childhood memory of Corey in front of you conversing.
Notes. Okay, sorry. 1 second. Okay, I'm ready.
It seems you've had some conflicting thoughts about yourself recently.
I mean, everything's so confusing right now. I can't keep up. What's even happening?
We feel the same way. It's dangerous, isn't it?
I mean, there's so little I'm certain of right now. Good.
We believe that's a good part of the journey. Though we know not yet the destination.
I feel I know my sister more than myself, and every step leads a different path, and
The choices you've made, the actions you've taken, why have you done so?
for others, I think more than for me. I mean, a lot of what I've done could be for Juno, to see you again. I don't know where I stand or who I am, but I feel like the decisions I've made were like ones I needed for others. Question mark.
We think so too. We know you're good at heart. We've seen it since you were a child. And your unclear path now, frankly, couldn't be more unclear. But you are making your decisions for the purposes of good and help. We appreciate this. And when he finishes saying the sentence, we appreciate this, you are going to feel what you understand to be your connection to the weave. Your magical energy and your abilities shift. It seems the fruit of your choices will soon come. Starting with tomorrow. We will see you again someday. We did promise. And just as in your memory from now months ago, his image will sift away into the wind, and you will wake the next day. That's going to be the thing we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And for everyone, this is a level up, as it is now the next morning. Given the time right now, I think it would be best if we handled level ups in between this session and the next. You're not going to need them, frankly. And we can continue for the next 20, 25 minutes or so with continuing on. Does that sound okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately,
So we're level 10 now.
you are leveled up from what you were. I'm not going to give it a number because off the top of my head, I don't remember what
Okay.
it was.
I don't either. That's why I wanted to ask.
I
So
did
that's
it.
cool.
I'm level 10
Okay.
because I didn't.
Okay. We will level up to level 10. Cool.
I'm
I
gonna
had
give
mine like
you
prepared a while
We're
guys-
ago,
on the
so I
same
just clicked
page.
one thing and it was done.
I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to talk for the opening of the morning in character for a second. I have a really poorly timed restroom need at the moment, so I'll be right back. But please converse for the morning.
Deal. Good morning. Okay.
Did I sleep? Has it
Very
been that
much.
long? It's usually still.
Squirmed a lot. It was annoying.
I'm not used to doing it. I'm sorry. I usually wake up much earlier than this. Ah,
Allergies.
don't make fun of me. I'm a spring elf.
Somebody drew a dick on your face while you were asleep.
Also, I swear to God, if you draw a dick on my face one more time,
Should we go get Aster and Ulta? Just sit up awkwardly between the two of them and crawl over my brother. Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
go get them.
Yep.
You guys have fun. Okay, bye.
No,
And I
I'm
walk out the
not.
hallway
I am not
and-
staying in bed with Icarus. No.
Oh my
hey, come
I'm
God.
here. I'm
guessing,
still
like-
tired.
like shortly after I leave, there's just the thunk of Icarus's body falling to the floor.
Yeah. No. Listen, if you try to spoon me back to sleep, it's not happening. I will kick you.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. After you begin to wake up and have your shenanigans,
Thank you.
you'll both rooms will get knocks at their doors.
Hello.
Yes.
No.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
It's us.
Paul.
Are you ready?
Mr. Obama?
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
It's
Oh,
Astriel's
I'm
Ready.
voice.
doing it too.
It's Astriel's voice.
Oh yeah. Hello, Mrs.
Uh,
Astriel.
Astriel, are we supposed to dress nice? Our clothes kind of smell like we went through a swamp
And then
and
fought a
then
dragon.
fought vampires and fought dragons, and Juno will just stick her head out in the hallway, just looking like absolute shit.
I
can help with that.
prestidigitate your spell. I prestidigitate the spell away from you.
As you prestidigitate, so will Astriel and Rydoth as well.
See, now you really smell good. You smell like triple good.
Thanks. So this is fine? Just going fully armored into a castle?
As you are is just fine.
Okay.
We're preparing for war, aren't we?
It seems we're well on our way.
Yawned in character because I just woke up.
Joy.
That yawn almost got me.
It was all acting.
Also, yeah.
No, but I mean like making me yawn too.
Yeah, no, it was all acting. That was a
Sympathetic
fake yawn.
yawner. I was like, oh. Okay.
Is everybody coming out, or is
Yep.
nobody else?
We go.
I'm coming
Okay.
now.
Yep.
Since LSAO and Juno are probably holding hands, I'm gonna reach to grab like Astriel's hand.
Oh, okay.
See if she'll take my hand. She's like, "Nah, nah."
Okay. I forgot a thing. Okay, there we are. Okay, they will lead you out of the tavern and inn back toward the castle. And Astriel on the way is giving you a little bit of fill-in. Don't bother too much with trying to remember everyone's name.
Thank you.
Just tell the truth. As you know it, as you've seen it. Don't give any mights or maybes. Nothing that you don't know for sure. The less speculation that you have, the better off everyone's position is. You can leave the more diplomatic needs to me.
LSAO, you're gonna talk because I barely remember anything.
Okay, but I just received blanket permission to misname everyone, so.
You received blanket permission to not worry about remembering the names.
You can't
Which
misname people if you never knew
You
their
did
names.
not receive blanket information to misname. Oh boy. All right, anything else you want to discuss on your way? It's just a quick couple minutes walk.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. If we have a sending spell at the end of the day, we'll take care of Jamna. Maybe also let's see if we can find Volo. We'll get to those when we feel like it. Okay, cool.
Okay. You are going to enter a grand meeting hall. Ulta, this place might be vaguely familiar to you as you may have passed by it once or twice in your upbringing and studies, but never really taken it all in. But it's a grand chamber with really well decorated and neatly kept banisters, banners all over the place, a long table that is actually a lot wider than you might expect for just like one or two people at the heads and then everybody else along the sides. It's more like a rectangle that's 8 to 10 seats wide and maybe 20 deep, with a large map sprawled across the middle. You would recognize this as a map of the Sword Coast. And strewn about are all sorts of markings and arrows, little figurines of wood representing possibly different people, factions, groups, what have you. And upon your initial entry, you'll hear just this absolute shouting match between a couple dozen people all at once.
Oof.
But the second the doors open and your faction leaders lead you in, it goes almost completely silent. One person whose most identifiable qualities are going to be they have a deep blue robe and a black staff stands up and says, "This hearing will come to order. We have the best information we can possibly get in front of us now. The time for arguing is done. We must hear their story, no longer secondhand, and we must take it into as seriously of an account as we can. Can we agree on that? And a few of the people will sort of like scoff and like give this super uninterested demeanor, leaning back totally unprofessionally, but the majority of the room will, you know, readjust themselves in their seats, straighten their robes and clothing a bit, have some empty pieces of paper in front of them with inkwells and pens ready to go, and you can tell that almost all of them have like sometimes stacks of papers of what is clearly information and their own notes in front of them. Astriel will begin. Now, I understand that the information we shared last night was from our own mouths and minds and understandings, and she indicates to the other faction leaders. But I will remind you that the events that at least happened quite literally underneath your very own feet were handled by this group. The crime lord Xanathar is dead again because of them. A secret vault of a dragon is discovered because of them. Piracy and necromancy unearthed and solved because of them. And that's just within your walls. So I trust you will respect their story as they tell it as truth, because they are the ones who have witnessed it and handled it for themselves. And I think their reputation, even just within these own walls, would precede any expectations otherwise. The man with the black staff will nod toward Astriel, and all of the faction leaders will take a seat, and he will begin to question you. Ulta Kragmaw. As daughter of nobles, I expected good deeds of you. I've not been disappointed. I hope that your good upbringing and influence has bled out onto these different groups that you bring with you. And one of the other folks will chime in and say, now, we know better than anyone, or at least we should, that elves, shifters, druids, magic users, all peoples of all kinds are just as welcome as the ones we know in this chamber, especially these who have done so much for us. Blackstaff. And the man will sort of swallow his own tongue for a second and say, yes, of course. Let's begin with the raid at Greenest. Why were you there?
Well, Your Honor, I had gotten an assignment to go there to check it out. I was just sent there, so I went.
And what was the purpose of the assignment?
We had heard rumblings of cult activity, I believe. I think that was the start of it.
That would be and Astriel will interrupt and say, yes, that would be the dragon cult we've told you multiple times about now. The very same.
Oh, we're really starting at the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And your involvement with this raid at the time was?
Well, to be honest, we got there and the raid had basically already been underway.
Oh, there's a we. Do we have anything to say, or is it just you?
I just figured it'd be hard if we all talked over each other, you know.
You also did call Ulta out by name. If you would like to hear from the rest of us, please do.
We're happy to help. Just let us know.
Juno, you're gonna see him take this moment of like, oh shit, and then go, yes, of course. Please continue.
All of us, or
Yeah, Ulta or
Just you.
okay, check. All right. So Aster and I, as well as Icarus, had been traveling together when we got to Greenest. The raid was already happening, so we quickly identified the aggressors versus the people running as quickly as possible to get to the city keep as quickly as possible. We took defensive actions on their behalf, which involved a lot of things, retreated to the keep, and then they made their presence very known. The dragon cult. So there's no confusion. The dragon cult had made themselves very, very apparent.
One other random person will sort of yell out from like the far side of the room. And is there any particular reason we needed to send the droids of the Enclave in there? Astriel and Rydoth simultaneously stand up and slam their fists on the table. Rydoth, to this point, you had not witnessed any sort of aggressive activity, tone, or movement from at all. And Astriel will look at him and stay standing cross her arms, and he will chime in and say, if my achievements and aid to this chamber are not enough, I would surely say that hers could certainly suffice for your needs. Had anyone else been involved with curing the sickness of the forests? That's what I thought. And he sits down. The room is dead silent, and everyone's looking at the group of you to continue, as you would choose.
Yeah, so then the things happened.
In about the cult made their presence known. They were wearing uniforms, and then they also there was a large blue dragon and the half dragon that wanted to fight someone. So it was pretty obviously dragon cult. When we say it was pretty obviously dragon cult.
Moving on then. This hatchery, hidden deep in a cavern beneath the camp that it accompanied, that some of us, and the man with the black staff looks toward another group, sort of kitty corner from you guys at your end of the table, but on the other corner, some of us couldn't catch until it was already ablaze and gone. You let 3 dragon eggs be taken. Black dragon eggs, if our information is correct. Pure evil. if our understanding is correct. Why?
What?
Because no child is evil.
It was more like reclaimed by nature than like let them be taken, you know?
Yeah, we're not exactly ones to question Sylvanas himself.
Sylvanas, who is this?
Your Majesty.
Being the prime god of nature, an agent of Sylvanas, made themselves known and quite honestly whisked those eggs away before we would have been able to do anything if we wanted to.
He's going to look directly at Rydoth with this look of like, is she serious? And with the most deadpan look on his face, he gives a single nod. Yes, and then you're disguising as dragon cultists yourselves. Going through 3, at least, major cities, including our own. Is there any detail you can glean for us on those activities and information you may have that your leaders here may not have divulged already, which was minimal at best?
No, that was just for fun.
No, not fun.
Very much not.
We can say that they were transporting goods to make what seemed like buildings or roads, multiple carts of traveling gear and things to make their journey easier, as well as carts full of gems and
Tribute.
right.
Tribute taken from other places.
So you were directly involved in the transport of stolen goods from the towns that were raided by the cult?
Well, precisely, we returned those.
Yes.
We could even draw out the routes for you if you would like, if that information has not been provided.
That would actually be rather helpful if you don't mind. And Aster, Rydoth will take a feather pen, dip it in an inkwell for you, and hold it up. The map of the Sword Coast is familiar to you, minus some routes that are on your maps.
Okay, I'll copy those over. Thank
All right.
right off for the pen and everything else.
He's going to give you a wink. What of this cleansing of the sickness? This reeks of dark magic and ne'er-do-wells. What can you share with us about what you had done there?
Well, to most of my knowledge, we took out the root of that sickness. It's going to grow back. And we also gained a little insight about what had happened there previously with these shadow warriors and wizards of Thay harnessing the powers of dragons past.
One of
She's very, she's tiptoeing around the fact that there's a dragon there because she doesn't really want to say that.
That's totally fine. One of the minority of more vocal people who have been interrupting in the group will chime in again and say, the Thayans again, and now Shadow Warriors? What is this propaganda? And then Astriel will chime in again and say, consistent with every report we've given you to date. I would advise that you continue to listen. And I'll remind you that the funding of this organization for the next 2 years has been covered by the discoveries of these 5. Can it?
Ooh.
It would become increasingly clear to all of you that Astriel especially, but the faction leaders that you're familiar with at this point are actually just as much a part of this body as anyone else. Because anytime one of them chimes in, the rest, at least for a moment, shut up. And you would all get the vibe that whatever tide existed is at least turning toward your favor because of the information being shared at this point. So the man with the staff and the blue robe will ask one more kind of a lengthy question, but and then your journey to he checks his notes. An ancient castle hidden in the Mare of Dead Men, littered with bullywugs and lizard folk. Teleportation to some mountain range somewhere, and eventually led you to a flying castle. Conveniently, the story ends there, and all of you will see Astriel sort of look to you and give you a and then you end up here. What were your discoveries along these destinations? In your own words.
Well, in a more concrete form, we realized that the Red Wizards very much are working with the Dragon Cult because we saw the Red Wizards casting magic on a dragon while fighting us alongside the dragon. They actually, thus, I wouldn't say killed, but they reincarnated that dragon as a lich dragon, like a Draco lich, you may say. I think is what other people would
gasp, hushes, whatever murmurs were happening at the table at that.
So yeah, so they're definitely working together. Like we kind of already thought it and like had some clues that led to it, but they're definitely solid evidence. There's also some undead, which I'm not sure if they were related to the thing. They were biting a lot, probably like vampires. Not sure if they're their own group or they are related to the Thays, like undead magics. Giants are still pretty chill. They like to fight dragons, so that might help us.
While he's rambling on, I would like to just fucking go around person by person as they all like look on, see if anyone at the table doesn't appear to be shocked. Like you said, they gasped. Like, does anyone seem to have like known that this happened, or like they're not hiding surprise?
Ooh, make an insight check.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I did hear
Where's the
LSAO
mole?
gasp when I was the first to start talking. Shoot, they were like, shit.
32.
What do you mean 32?
Oh shit.
Oh my
What?
goodness.
Excuse me, that's not even a natural 20. It's a
It's
19.
19.
Nice.
It's very close.
Okay.
Expertise in insight, bitches. And if I can
there's-
stare at them, I get advantage.
There's basically 3 distinct modes of reaction you get from everyone in the group. Your sort of control, so to speak, is the faction leaders, who are more deadpan than pretty much anyone else because you've already told them pretty much everything, right? And for the most part, they don't react, but they do sort of have these little winces once in a while that, like, at the mention of certain more egregious, more dangerous, big impact things, they're like, yep, that's the case. And then there's the other 2 across the table. there's probably 2 or 3 people across the table that have similar reactions to the faction leaders. And your gauge would say most likely like they are very much on board with what the faction leaders have and do and say. Then there's a group of people who like aggressively sift through their notes as if to sort of fact check you, the collective you, as you're saying stuff, and then like have this almost disappointed reaction when they get to certain pieces of paper, as if something they didn't want to believe is actually being projected as truth. The others are much more on the like paying full attention, and every once in a while we'll check a note, but they're just in. They are receiving information. You get the vibe that they are accepting the information they receive, and either they already know what they've already gotten and don't really feel like checking against anything, or they just flat out believe you.
So there's no one that seems like highly suspicious right now.
In the area of suspicious, like spy territory, enemy territory, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think for now I've quite heard enough. Does anyone believe otherwise at this point? And he will have this aggressive look toward the rest of the chamber. Faction leaders will all sort of look around and make eye contact with a few people as they go.
I'll like mockingly like lean forward a little bit and like come up to whisper, and you don't even want to know how many dragons we've already fought.
A couple will like give you the sideways glance as they're still sort of shifting through their papers, and eventually everybody, even the most disgruntled, will just give this shake of their heads and sort of like wash their hands of it and agree to the leader. And he'll say, then it's decided then. The first assignment is in conjunction of this chamber with the recommendation of your faction leaders, who for the first time in history are working together, which should say something for itself. To Frostrunner, to the north, to investigate a lost operative who sought dragon magic for herself. It seems war is at hand, and we must maximize our allyship as much as possible. And a human man wearing a robe with like a modified hood that is covering intentionally half of his face, that Aster, you can see that half of his face is heavily scarred, approaches. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
What?
I heard Frostrunner and all I thought was Sunrunner.
Same. Like,
No.
wait.
I was like, we chose that name first.
Yep. All right. Yes, I'm running up a little bit close to time here, but I'm really glad we got that whole thing in. Tension. Let's go around the table one more time and quickly outro ourselves, our characters, and things that are coming up for us, and then we'll be out of here.
All right. As I pull up my my calendar here. All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Sir Hecklot. You know, as per usual, I played Aster, the Circle Wildfire Druid, who's also a shifter. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Hecklot. It is the best place to figure out what I am doing next and where I'm going to be next. I might be streaming on my personal channel tomorrow. We'll see. I'm trying to fundraise throughout this month for various causes. Is my first goal for reproductive rights. Absolutely got smashed on the first day. So we'll see where I go from there. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to do for the rest of the month. In terms of the TTRPG space, you can find me over on Neon Lights roleplay on the 28th for the Violet Sea. You can find me this Sunday back here for the next Coven game. We're playing some basic witches. It's going to be so fun. And I'm forgetting when the next Emerald Expeditions episode is, but it's coming up very soon. I think it might be this coming Monday. Yes, 23rd. I will be there. Chrissy will also be there. And you can find me here every other Tuesday and Thursday for the show that you just saw, as well as Oathsworn, Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, every other Tuesday. And I think that is about it. Moving on over to Nif.
Hi everybody, I'm Nif. I played Eliseo the Time Wizard. And yeah, I am here on Thursdays and Fridays of Module Week doing Tyranny of the Dragons on Thursday here and doing Rime of the Frost Maiden on Fridays. But our schedule's kind of wonky, so check the schedule, y'all.
Hiya, I'm Hyacinth, and I was playing Icarus, or something or other. Maybe we'll see. Some things are changing. And yeah, you can find me here on Thursdays. Not every Thursday, keep that in mind. And on Twitter at Anderson, and it's not streamed, but I'm going to be running a guild game, which is really exciting for me because I only GM once in a blue moon. It's really scary. So it's Egyptian mythology, and it'll be super fun. So just please be excited about it, even if you can't see it.
And go join the Discord for more information on joining the guild and doing stuff like that.
I'm Cordogne Gra. I'll be in that guild game. I'll also be here for Basic Witches. And then, following that, you can find me at Star Wars Celebration, where I'm going to be vibing and hanging out and getting weird, being on my nerd shit. And I'll be back here in 2 weeks for this. Over to Chrissy.
Well, hello. I'm Chrissy Kritz. I played Ulta, our Swarmkeeper Ranger. And as far as where you can find me, all over TPK during Module Week, I have Madness Calls It Forth, Oathsworn, Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, as well as here, Queen's Gambit. And then sporadically in other one-shots. So the other one-shots, like Heck has said already, I will not repeat it all. But to add to that, I will also on, I believe next Tuesday, on the 24th, I will be joined by Sarah X Franco and Keegan EXE for something called Brindlewood Bay, where we are going to play a bunch of old people solving crimes. It's gonna be like really gay Golden Girls, more gay than it was to begin with. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. Other than that, I am a Jasper's Game Day ambassador, so please check out Jasper's. It's jaspersgameday.com. They're a wonderful organization. They do tons and tons of stuff. We just finished up Jasper's Game Day week, where we had a really, really great turnout. And then the other thing I want to mention, on top of supporting Heck and their bundle and all of their reproductive rights things over on itch.io, you should also check out Lynn M. Myers, I'm not sure their pronouns, I shouldn't do that. Their itch bundle, it is in support of the racist shooting in Buffalo. So it is to empower and support a grassroots Black and brown person social justice thing. They're just gonna get out there and try to change some shit. So please support that. You can find them on Twitter at Lynn, LYNNE _M Meyer, MEYER. Ta-da!
Yeah, submissions close on Sunday, so if you have made a game and want to add your game to it, it's crunch time. Be ready to do that. And then we'll keep you posted for when it actually goes live, and you can go get all the cool games and support a good cause.
Magic.
All right, and I'm that Magic Juice. I am a GM, mostly GM, sometimes player with TPK Roleplay. You'll find me here every other Thursday with this crew on this show. Same bat time, same bat channel. I do also run one other long-running persistent campaign on my own channel every other Sunday. More stuff to come on both. So keep an eye on those Twitch channels, the Twitters, and especially in TPK. I'm all over the Discord all the time and all that jazz. So lots of stuff coming. But at the very least, I hope to see you all 2 Thursdays from now. And until then, have a good one.